For as long as most of us can remember, building software has meant one thing, right? Writing code. But that's all changing. A massive shift is underway, moving us from being the hands-on craftsman, the person laying every single brick, to being more like an orchestra conductor. So let's talk about what it means to put down the hammer and pick up the baton.
So let's just dive right in with a huge question. Will we even be writing code in, say, 2026? I mean, are developers still going to be sitting there manually typing out line after line? The answer, well, it's complicated, but it points to a really fascinating future for how we build things.
Okay, so to really get where we're heading, we have to understand why this is all happening in the first place. You see, for years, the entire tech industry has been stuck, wrestling with this huge bottleneck in the way we build software.
Think about it. For most companies, the whole process of creating and updating software, it's the single biggest thing holding back innovation. It's just so complex, it's slow, it's expensive, it takes forever to get anything done.
And a huge chunk of that problem? It's this absolute tangled mess of old and new systems. We're always trying to get these ancient, clunky legacy systems to talk to shiny, modern apps. And that means you're dealing with inconsistent data, all sorts of security risks, and you have to hire these super specialized, expensive people just to get everything to play nice together. It's a nightmare.
So, okay, we've got this massive problem. What was the first real attempt to fix it? Well, the industry's first big leap forward was something you've probably heard a ton about, the low-code revolution.
And the idea behind low-code is it's brilliant. It's so simple. Instead of writing every single thing from scratch, you just get this visual interface, right? You're dragging and dropping components, you're using pre-built connectors. It hides a ton of the messy complexity and lets people build apps way, way faster.
I mean, when you put them side by side, the difference is just staggering. Look at development speed, the skills you need, the cost. In pretty much every single category, low-code was a massive improvement over old-school custom coding. It really did democratize development. But it was only the first step.
Because right now, we are in the middle of the next quantum leap. And this one is all powered by AI. And listen, this isn't just about making coding a little bit faster. This is about completely changing the game, fundamentally rethinking what it even means to build software.
So as we move beyond just typing simple prompts into a chat box, this totally new and critical skill is popping up. We call it context engineering. And this is not just about asking an AI a question. It's about skillfully feeding it the right documents, giving it access to the right systems, all the detailed info it needs to make sure its answers are accurate and based in reality. So it doesn't just start hallucinating and making stuff up.
And this leads to a pretty wild idea, a concept called vibe coding. Seriously. The idea here is that a developer just describes a problem in plain English. You give the AI the vibe of what you want, and an AI agent just translates that directly into running code. The developer's job completely changes. You're not writing and debugging anymore, you're just supervising the AI while it does all the heavy lifting.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Check out this quote from Anjali Arora. She's the CTO of Perforce. She puts it so bluntly. Prepare for a future where DevOps professionals will no longer need to learn programming languages. Wow. The role is shifting so much that being fluent in Python or Java might not even be necessary for a lot of people. That is a radical thought.
Okay, but there's a catch with vibe coding, right? A pretty big one. You tell an AI to spit out thousands of lines of code. How on earth do you know it's correct? How do you trust it? This is where a much more mature, more thoughtful approach comes into play. One that gives you the speed of AI, but with some real engineering discipline.
So let's break this down. The key differences between vibe coding and vibe modeling. With vibe modeling, you don't ask the AI to generate raw code, no. Instead, the AI generates a high-level model first. Think of it like a blueprint for the software. And the best part? A human can easily look at that blueprint and check it for mistakes before a single line of code gets written.
And you can see how this works right here. You have a domain expert, and this person might not be a coder at all, talking to an AI agent. The agent then creates that model, that blueprint. And then the human, whether they're a text expert or a business person, can just look at it and say, yep, that's exactly what I want, or nope, that part is wrong. It keeps the human in the loop right where it matters most.
And that's really the breakthrough here. There are two huge wins. First, the output, that model, is actually understandable. You don't have to be a senior engineer to look at a clear blueprint and see if it makes sense. And second, once that blueprint gets the thumbs up, the code that gets generated from it is totally reliable. It's deterministic. If the model is right, the code will be right. End of story.
But let's take this one step further, because the vision gets even bigger. Imagine not just one AI agent, but a whole team of them. You'd have specialized AIs, one's an expert in databases, another in user interfaces, another is a security specialist. They all work together, collaborating on that blueprint. And the humans? We act as the supervisors. We're the architects overseeing the entire project from a high level.
Okay, so let's bring it back to us. If AI is going to be handling all this low-level, detailed work, what does that actually mean for people? What skills should we be trying to build right now to get ready for this future?
This is probably the most important takeaway. The job itself is being elevated. We're shifting away from being the hands-on craftsman who lays every single brick, and we're becoming the high-level supervisory architect who designs the whole building and makes sure the crew builds it exactly to plan.
So what are those essential skills for, say, 2026? Number 1, context engineering, being great at guiding the AI to get accurate results. Number 2, you've got to know your fundamentals. You still need a deep understanding of software engineering principles to know if the AI's blueprint is any good. And number 3, natural language supervision, basically using plain language to conduct this whole complex orchestra of AIs.
So when you boil it all down, this isn't the story about AI replacing humans. Not at all. It's a story about AI empowering humans. It's about AI taking over all the tedious, repetitive grunt work, which frees us up, the human developers, to focus on the stuff that really matters, the high-level, creative, and strategic work that actually pushes innovation forward.
And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. If we're no longer defined by the lines of code we write, but by the incredible systems we design and conduct, if AI becomes the builder, then what becomes our masterpiece?